Hey everybody, I hope I'm live. I should be on 3 platforms right now. So it's your boy Hammy. Look at this. Good, and you haven't had a haircut. I haven't had a haircut or a beard trim in like 4 weeks. I haven't done it because I haven't wanted to. I don't know. I'm thinking about growing it all into a man bun because that really seems, or maybe a ponytail. That really seems to piss people off. So I like that idea. Um, I'm on 3 platforms right now. I'm on YouTube. I should be on YouTube. I should be on Facebook and on Twitter. Now, I don't really know. I don't know. The software I use is called Ecamm, works for the Mac. It's really good streaming software. Had a new update, just came out, version 4, and it allows you to go to multiple platforms all at once. So I'm trying, it takes a lot of bandwidth. I have it. I have enough bandwidth, but I should be, look, you can see the peanut butter. Look, there's peanut butter right there. That was last night's snack. I was putting it on those crackers. It should be that I'm on all those platforms, but I don't really know. I don't really know. So let's see if I can zoom in myself a little bit. Hey, how's that? I still got the peanut butter in the shot. Okay, today what are we going to talk about? I saw a TikToker. I saw a woman. I think she identifies as a woman. I'm not positive. If I got that wrong, I apologize. But I saw a woman. Her username is Ashcapps, and she did this really interesting breakdown of. I guess she works in the nonprofit space, and she, from what I can tell from her bio, she. In fact, we can go to her bio. So in this video, I review the City of Memphis 2003 adopted operating budget and share my findings with you. I start at the city level and then move up to the county and then to the federal level. I discuss how all municipalities' inner workings are public record, but can sometimes be difficult to find. I share how I found the budget on the city's website, which is hundreds of pages long in PDF format. I also highlight specific pages and sections of the budget, such as the police department's let's see, such as the police department's operating budgets, grants received, and by the Department and Civil Law Enforcement Review Board, an independent agency and investigation that investigates allegations of misconduct against the Memphis Police Department. I also discuss the Justice Assistance Program, JAG, money awarded to Shelby County, which benefits the Memphis Police Department. Hashtag justice for Tyree. Yes, this is about Tyree being murdered by those, so far, 5 police officers. We know there's more involved at this point. We know there's a lot more to this story that we're going to find out over time. But I thought it was interesting how she breaks out this money. So it's not a long video. It's actually 3 TikToks put together, 8 minutes. I thought we would watch it, kind of follow her, and see how it goes. So with that, let's switch over to this screen. Okay, I think I'm gonna expand her so we can see her. She's got a nice face. We want to see all of it. So let's go.
This is 2023 adopted operating budget, and I want to share what I've learned with you. So I'm going to start at the city level, then I'm going to move up to the county, and then we're going to go up to the federal level.
Cool.
Justice for Tyree Nichols.
Yes.
Every municipality in the country, local, federal, state, all of their inner workings are public record. Sometimes they're difficult to find. I went on the City of Memphis's website and pulled up their budget. It's hundreds of pages. It's a PDF, that's what it's called. Starting on page 341 is the police department. Here is their org chart, their operating budget. On page 343, it lists the highlights of the department, and if you scroll down under the organized crime unit, it lists the Scorpion Unit. The agency created the Crime Suppression Unit, Scorpion, also known as Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods, and the Fugitive Unit in the fiscal year 2022. Right above that are the grants that this department received. They got a JAG grant and an SPI grant.
This is one of the things that I love about social media. I don't have the intelligence nor the educational background to do this kind of research. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that do research or they try and show us receipts and they're bullshit. But like she's pulling, and I'm not saying that about Ash. She's quickly becoming my favorite, but she's pulling receipts like off of public records, right? She knows this is part of what she has to do when she makes her living. She has to know how to navigate this stuff. And I would never, without social media, I would never be connected to someone like this. And again, and then I would like literally stay in ignorance. But because of TikTok, the dancing app, I get to find this person and then find her YouTube and find this content that she has. So I'll admit it's a tad niche, but I fall in this niche 100%. I hope you do.
It's stated in here their primary objective of the Memphis Police Department is to work with the community to reduce crime. Interesting. Before we look at those grants, I want you to know that there is a committee in Memphis called CLRB, which stands for the Civilian Law Enforcement Review Board. It's an independent agency with the authority to investigate allegations of misconduct filed by citizens of the public against the Memphis Police Department. Here's the website. Here's the meeting schedule. Now let's go to the county level. Memphis is in Shelby County. They were awarded this JAG money, which is the Justice Assistance Grant Program, for $1 million and some change, benefiting Memphis PD. The JAG grant was administered and dispersed by the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the BJA, which is under the Department of Justice, DOJ. Here's the original call. Here's the award announcement. You can pause to read what it was for. This is from 2021 and what they were awarded. This is a press release from DOJ from the U.S. Attorney's Office of Western District of Tennessee. Memphis and Shelby County received more than $11 million awards to support efforts to combat violent crime. It mentions other sources of funding here with that BJA grant. This is the budget for Shelby County. They list all of the grants that they have received. Operation Relentless Pursuit from DOJ. In 2020, the Leadership Conference of Civil and Human Rights issued a press release speaking out against the ORP, specifically mentioning George Floyd.
Now pay attention to this part, because she breaks down that this speaking out tough morning for me with words, which isn't good if you got a YouTube channel. She breaks down exactly where there's been, controversy and outreach of people saying that they don't want these programs to move forward and why.
Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Tony McDade.
Right.
We'll have to do a part two. To the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, where they issued a press release against the ORP. ORP stands for Operation Relentless Pursuit. This press release was pleading to the House Committee on Appropriations and Oversight and Reform, opposing that they provide any more funding to this ORP program. For decades, the federal government has dumped resources into criminal legal system that has caused untold harm to Black and other communities.
Absolutely.
Sean Warren recommends the government invest in non-carceral community-led programs. ORP started in 2019 with $71 million allocated for 7 cities: Albuquerque, Baltimore, Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas, Memphis, and Milwaukee. This is why people call the government alphabet soup, okay? Bear with me. The House Committee on Appropriations allocated $71 million to the Department of Justice. Department of Justice turned around and dispersed $51 million to COPS, which is Community-Oriented Policing Services, and the remainder to the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the BJA, which is where they got that JAG money from. ORP replicates the most devastating aspects of violent crime control and law enforcement. These actions...
Let's hear that again. ORP?
aspects of violent crime control and law enforcement. These actions are not constructive ways to achieve true public safety, but serve only to continue the legacy of systematic racism and criminalization of minority communities. This was published on 7/15 of 2020. From the COPS disbursement, Memphis requested 50 positions be funded, and it was awarded. They were awarded $9.8 million.
You can't get a pothole
PowerPoint
filled
from
in here
DOJ
on the road
and Memphis
where
Police
you live. You can't get a pothole
talking
filled.
about their phases of relentless
That's why.
pursuit.
That's why.
These are all the agencies involved in
That's
this
where the money
particular
goes.
operation. This is the kind of nonsense that's in this PowerPoint.
Fucking militaristic joke.
Back to Shelby County budget. I'm on Shelby County, Tennessee's adopted budget for 2023. Project Safe Neighborhoods. They also received funding from that program. Here is an agenda from Shelby County, Tennessee, talking about the Project Safe Neighborhood program. Memphis PD was awarded $139 and some change. They also had a research partner. There was another press release from DOJ under the U.S. Attorney Office for Western District of Tennessee. DOJ awarded over $17 million to the Western District. This program was implemented on October 1st and will continue till September 30th, 2024. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office main source of revenue, state reimbursement for jail. It's going to be a part 3. I'm reviewing Shelby County's adopted budget for fiscal year 2023. Shelby County's adopted budget for law enforcement. These are all of the grants that the county received. Here you can see that JAG Award, Project Safe Neighborhoods, and Relentless Pursuit through the BJA. I'm going to go back down to the City of Memphis's Police Department's budget to look at that SPI grant. This is page 343 of the fiscal year 23 adopted budget for the City of Memphis. SPI grant $500,000. The SPI stands for Smart Policing Initiative. It's under the Bureau of Justice Assistance. The Bureau of Justice Assistance is under the Department of Justice. Basically, SPI works with law enforcement agencies to identify innovative and evidence-based solutions to effectively and efficiently tackle chronic crime problems in their jurisdictions. That SPI money paid for this research by Richard Janikowski of the University of Memphis in partnership with Memphis Police Department, with a focus on robbery and burglary. Their research population was in Old Allen Station, which is approximately 6,000 parolees and people on probation live. This is SPI's website where you can find a lot of data. Going back to Memphis's budget, page 343, right here, Scorpion Unit. Okay. Why am I showing you all of this information? It's not just these officers in this Scorpion unit that are responsible. As somebody who went to graduate school for a master's in public administration, who can read government documents, who writes grants, ultimately the House Appropriations Committee allocated money to the Department of Justice for many of these policing programs, which ultimately led to the Scorpion unit. You have independent researchers then validating and backing up their data to request funds. Even though you have civil rights leaders from all over the country speaking up and out in these conferences saying this isn't working. Don't be fooled and blame just these officers. This is a bigger problem. Justice for Tyree Nichols.
Justice for Tyree Nichols. This is a national problem. Oh, Ethan, I love you, but we don't want you right now.
You.
Hello, everybody. So let's go back up here. What our new friend? How come this isn't working? Community organizations like outreaching and literally saying these programs don't work. Like telling you what the community needs, right? We know what's basically what the DOJ did was say, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you need. We know what's good for you. So all this money gets funneled into these larger programs that then get disseminated through grants and professional grant writers, which I believe she's one of them. She knows how to get this kind of money. There's these grants, and then they're disseminated. And no matter what the original intention was for the money, where did it end up? Because this approval process trickles down, and it was supposed to be like community, right? Community, like a softer police, right? Like a softer police presence in the community, a community that's policed by people that look like the community, in which sounds like it is. But what happens is the culture, once that money hits the culture of these police departments, what happens? It becomes militaristic. Scorpion unit. Fucking Scorpion unit. That sounds like a video game, man. Does that sound like what you want patrolling the streets of your city? Like, I'm sure some of you do. I don't. I don't want the Scorpion unit patrolling the streets of my city, putting the lives in danger of young men and women. My life, your life. I know I'm not a young man or a woman, but like putting our lives in danger. I'm not interested in it. I want to look up. Let's see. I'm gonna jump us over to Twitter for a minute. And let's go back over here. Let's see. I want to do a little fucking research on this Scorpion unit thing a little bit on the Twitter. Oh, look at Ethan. Fuck the police. Fuck the institution. Fuck the bootlickers that support them. Fuck politicians that overfund them. Fuck the people that train them. Fuck the police unions. Fuck qualified immunity. Last year, the police killed 1,200 people. Fuck the police. You know, Ethan, I really could not agree with you more, if I'm being dead honest. Oh, Keemstar, congratulations. Let's look up, let's do Scorpion unit, a little look up. Not gonna be long today. Scorpion unit. I had a little camera issue there. Let's see. Why am I not seeing my screen? Why am I not seeing my screen, guys? Bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, because it wants so I want to show the two-share display. Okay, so Scorpion unit. Let's scroll this out a little bit. Okay, protesters demanding justice for Tyree Nichol take to the streets of Memphis shortly after. What we have here? Anything to view? Oh, it looks like that's taken down. Tennessee, watch this. Okay, Frank Guzzi, hearing about the Scorpion, didn't let anybody tell you these people weren't looking out for traffic violations. These crime suppression units, they're about suppressing people in an aggressive way, and that's what needs to be looked at.
Violations, right? These crimes, you're asking a larger question, which is what is it really that we need to deploy armed people for? And I think that's a valid question. This brings up another issue though, because we keep hearing about the Scorpion unit, right? And so don't let anybody tell you these people were out looking for traffic violations, right? These crime suppression units, these jump out squads, as some cities call them, they're about suppressing people in an aggressive way, and that's what needs to be looked at here.
They're fucking vigilantes, guys.
For a traffic violation. But you're asking a larger question.
They're fucking vigilantes with badge. They're slave patrol, is what they are. They're fucking slave patrol. The vigilantes with badges. And if you live in areas where these gangs, I'm going to call them what they are, where these gangs patrol, you know that. You know that they are. What's this?
Which is, what is it?
Okay, so these scumbag cops belong to the police unit called Scorpion, an operation team of black officers in unmarked cars that would specifically target blacks in the Memphis community. We had already known white supremacy was using our own folks against us, but this is bad. So I'm going to speak a little bit to the issue with the race. Like, honestly, I don't have a place in that fight. I mean, actually, that's wrong terminology. I do have a place in that fight. My place is to speak up for injustice and to do something about injustice. But it's not my place to talk about, oh, the cops were black and Tyree was black and, what that means to racism. There's better, more qualified people than me to speak to that, right? They have their own voices. They can speak to that. You can agree with it or not. There's a lot I agree with there. I'll leave it at that. What I'm going to speak to, the fact is they're fucking cops. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care how you gender identify. I don't care what your sexual preferences are or how you pray. You're a fucking cop. You're a fucking bootlicker. And you are there to basically, in my opinion, hold up your boot down on the neck of the working class and support this capitalist system that we live in that oppresses the vast majority of us and only benefits a very small few. So it doesn't matter what color you are. In this scenario, you're a fucking cop. And your color is blue. Your color is fucking blue. Don't be fooled by Memphis Police Chief sad face. Those car-ups are part of Scorpion, an all-black unit built to make arrests stealthily without extra scrutiny. White cops might feel beating Tyree Nichols was the rule, not the exception. She knew how Scorpion rolls. I would probably think that's probably true. That's a pretty serious position to be the police chief of Memphis. You got to be a skilled fucking politician to get that job. Street crime operation to restore peace in our neighborhoods. In today's episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up, this is what Cop Unit Scorpion stands for. Yeah. Tyree Nichols. Cornell Kennedy was stopped by the very same police unit, Scorpion Unit, this month. That's the same unit that stopped Tyree. He says the officers pulled a gun on him for no reason. He says officials listened to his concerns. Tyree might be alive today. Let's hear what this young man has to say.
Can you talk to me about that encounter you had with the Scorpion unit? Walk me through what happened.
Yes, ma'am. Well, on that night, I left my house at about, I'm saying 8:15 to go across the street to get a pizza from the store right across the street. And while I was waiting on my pizza, I decided to walk across the street to another store from the street, across the street from the other store.
Which is so I can reasonable.
Get something else that I wanted because that other store didn't have it and I couldn't get it with my card over there. So when I went over there, I went in the store and I seen somebody I knew in there. We started talking and we left out the store. Once we left out the store, we get in the car. We sit in the car like 1 or 2 minutes and he's like, "What's going on?" And that's when I look up because we was looking down at our phone. I was showing him something in my phone. And he's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Man, it looked like these guys are going to take your car because at that time period, it was some guys going around acting like police officers in undercover cars taking people's cars."
This is the kind of shit that happens in neighborhoods all across America, right? I mean, that's why they try and build things like the Scorpion Unit is you've got these, I don't know if the neighborhood's impoverished, but there's probably a pretty good chance that there's a higher crime rate. That's why the city of Memphis thought it would be a good idea to suppress crime in there with vigilante tactics. So the people that live in those communities are the ones that actually deal with the crime, right? Whether it's by other criminals or the police acting as criminals. So that's perfectly reasonable for that man to be nervous and think something like that's going to happen.
And And I said, it looked like these guys about to take the car. He's like, what? And then that's when one of the officers started to step out the car. But at that time, when he started to step out the car, I didn't know he was an officer because the cars were unmarked and he wasn't in an actual blue uniform. It was like all black, and he had on a vest that said Memphis, and he had on a mask that covered up a majority of his face. And the only thing was visual at the time was his eyes. And as he proceeded to step out the car, he like, hands, I need to see your MF hands before I blow y'all MF heads off. So at this time, I'm holding my hands out. I'm inside of the car. I'm like, man, what's going on? What's going on?
Right.
Hands. And that's when he step up to the car. He's like, I'll blow your MF heads off. I need to see y'all hands right now.
The power
like,
trip.
What's going on? He's like, I need y'all to step out the car right now. And he grabbed me by my shoulder with the gun a foot away from my head as he pulled me out the car. I'm like, man, what's going on? And I still had my hands reached out towards in front of me with my phone and my wallet in my hand. And he's like, I'm going to tell you what's going on in a second. So I'm like, what's going on?
This man was buying a pizza and probably some beer or a bottle or who knows across the street. Like nothing you and I haven't done how many times in our life.
Me to the car. He put me in the car. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm gonna get back with you. So they walked to the car. They walked back to the car that we was in, and he started searching the car. It was like, who does the pound of drugs in the car belong to? I was like,
Hold
I don't
on,
know
Cornell.
about any drugs in
Forgive
the car.
me, sir, for interrupting. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly. So you all were sitting in your friend's car for maybe 2 minutes. Then these officers come and get you out of the car. They get aggressive with you. And then they say, all of a sudden, who do these drugs belong to?
Pound of drugs.
Yeah, they put me in the back of the car. They separated us first, and they started searching the car. Then they came back to the car that I was in, like, who the pound of the drugs belong to? Who the pound of marijuana belong to? I was like, I don't know about any drugs in the car. I was like, then one officer said, I've been following this car up and down the street. And at that point, I said, if you follow the car up and down the street, you see me just get in the car.
Right.
Like, yeah, but somebody got to ride for these drugs that's in this car. Who gonna ride for? I said, I like to speak to my attorney. And then
there you go, my man.
Says, this ain't the time for an attorney.
Yes, it is.
This not court.
Oh, fuck you.
I don't
Fuck
have
you.
anything else to say. They start asking me
good for you.
more questions. Like, then they'll start laughing like, man, there's no drugs in the car. You can get out. So I walked down to the end of the street, and I thought about it, that I was still missing something from the inside of the store. And I was trying to go back into the store, and one of the officers tell me, you violated, you banned from this store. I'm like, how did I violate? Why am I banned for this store?
Why is he not allowed to go to the store?
Show you. You want me to show you? So I walk off at that point. I go to my house, then I come back shortly just so I can go back to the store and get what I wanted after they left.
What? So there were no drugs. They said they were just joking around with you guys. You still don't know why they approached you in the first place. Why do you think this happened?
It's fucking harassment. It's a shakedown.
Well, I just know in my city, it's the kind of car that we was in at the time. It is a car that is on high alert, but
so
everything checked out for that car. They really had no reason to pull it over.
Right, you didn't go to jail. Your friend didn't go to jail. You guys didn't get rolled up.
The reason why they stopped.
Were you?
They had no reason to stop you.
I mean, you came.
And if they did, they didn't need to handle it that way.
Officers, and they were armed. They were showing you their weapons.
How?
Tell me about your state of mind. How are you feeling in those
Why would
moments?
you think you're not going to die? I mean, honestly, why would you think you're not? I would.
When it was going on,
if I was that young man, I think I was going to die.
Like, I'm just getting in this car. At the time, I was thinking in my head, like, what have you done? Or
right.
When I figured out it was officers at the time, I was like, what's really going on? Or what have I done?
Right.
Want to come out and
I would think the same thing, man. I would think the same thing.
It was frightening, clearly, and certainly upsetting. You hadn't done anything wrong. You've walked away from that. And then subsequently, you learned that Tyree Nichols has died, but only after some sort of violent encounter with the same police unit. When you saw the images of those 5 police officers who've been fired and charged, what did you think then?
Well, actually, the day after my incident happened, I actually called the Internal Affairs and I talked to
Good
one
for
of the
you.
sergeants there, and I told him that
I fucking love this guy.
I don't know the officers by name, but I know the exact unit that they worked on, and I could give you their face if I seen them again. And I was like, they work on a Memphis Scorpion unit, and they pulled me out the car very aggressive, and they didn't give me a reason.
I bet the other
And he
cops are
pretty
scared of
much
that
tried to
unit.
downplay the whole
I'll bet the other.
situation, like they probably had a probable cause to pull the car over when you wasn't in the car. I don't know what happened.
I'll bet you a fucking dinner at your favorite fast food restaurant right now that the other police officers were scared of the member of the Scorpion unit. I'm not saying they were rogue, but I bet you that culture really of the way they handle things, that aggressiveness and brutality, like scared a lot of the other police officers, and yet they were allowed to be out there on the street doing it. And this is why we say all cops are bastards, because we know, right? It's not every cop that engages in the behavior that we saw on the body cam for that poor gentleman Tyree Nichols, but there's cops that knew that they did shit like that, or are scared of those types of officers themselves, and they don't do shit about it. This fucking guy's braver than those cops that were around the Scorpion unit. Maybe those cops around the Scorpion unit are, maybe they were afraid enough, but also, they don't want to lose their job and all that bullshit. Well, don't be a fucking cop. Go be a framer or an accountant or a cabinet maker. Like, you're in the wrong fucking profession, bud.
To the car, getting to the store, or why they was following that car up and down the street. But if obviously they were following it, they had a reason to follow it. But I didn't understand it, because at that point, if they was following that car, they see me walk out the store and just get in the car. So I explained to them, I said, at this point in time, I really don't know how to feel about the police, or if I should trust the police to be walking out of the store to feed my family.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
Like that, with my hands reached out above my head and my hands out. I said, I don't even know how to feel. I'm really afraid of the police at this point.
I would be too.
I just feel like it. If the Internal Affairs in Memphis would have took action, they could have possibly prevented it. If they would have took action and investigated like I asked them to do in the beginning, they could have possibly prevented, took them off the street for a while till they actually found out something, or figured it all out. Or
he did see something, say something. What the fuck got him? Nothing. See something, say something. Got him nothing.
I believe if he yes, I believe real strong chance that if he actually took action, and
of course you believe that.
Yes, I bet it would have probably been.
That man's living with a certain amount of guilt that, I bet he's got a lot of guilt around him. Poor guy. Good interview of the controversial Scorpion unit founded in October. Good overview. In October 2021, under Chief Davis, focused on high crimes areas. Criminal justice reform activists and some residents, however, have accused officers in the unit of using excessive force. Well, we found that to be true. Oh, look at this. Memphis Scorpion Unit, Atlanta Red Dog Unit, Los Angeles Crash Unit, and the list goes on. Chattel slavery never ended, it just evolved. I believe this. These are fucking receipts. They're facts. Austin McCoy, the Detroit Police Department created an undercover street crimes unit called Stop the Robberies, Enjoy Safe Streets in 1971, which spells out stress killed at least 19. Wait, it's written weird, bro. Let's try again. All right, I have trouble reading when I'm doing this with you guys. I apologize. The Detroit Police Department created an undercover street crimes unit called Stop the Robberies, Enjoy Safe Streets in 1971, which spells out stress. Got it. Stop the Robberies, Safe Streets. Stress killed at least 19 people in 2 years. So I had to roll my eyes when Memphis police chief outlined what Scorpion meant. It's a good take, bro. It's very base. Okay, nobody. Okay, not excusing the 5 Memphis officers at all, but found it interesting that all 5 apparently worked together in the past in the elite Scorpion unit, an investigation unit which went to war with organized crime. The problem is many end up worse than those they're chasing. All right. All right, let's see. Alan Holmes. Here's a little background on the Memphis PD Scorpion unit. The officers who killed Tyree Nichols were all members of this unit. Let's see what this nice man has.
What's going on, y'all? This Holmes. In this video, I want to dig into the Scorpion unit. The officers who killed Tyree Nichols were all part of this unit. It stands for Street Crimes Operation and to restore peace in our neighborhoods. The unit was created in October 20 under the police department's organized crime unit. It's made up of 40 officers divided into 10-member teams. The unit's responsibilities were to address crime, car break-ins, and gang violence. In 2021, Memphis set a record for homicides, which was...
Remember when we saw in Ashcapps' report of them asking for 50 officers and for this unit? This is Scorpions, 40 of them, broken up into 4. Sounds like 4 groups of 10.
Year in a row. There were 346 homicides reported in 2021, which is up from 332 in 2020. Mayor Strickland created this unit allegedly as a way to address crime. The problem is the unit had issues from the beginning.
Yeah.
Former Memphis Police Chief Sergeant Mark LaSour said he began to see many inexperienced and young officers being placed on this unit who had no...
Well, here's the problem. Hey, we're going to put out this fire by throwing a bunch of fucking gasoline on it. That's the problem. But see, that's the mentality, right? Mentality isn't why is there a fire? How are we going to prevent fires? How are we going to prevent fires? I don't know. Let's throw gasoline on them and see if that accelerates it. Not where did the fire come from? Who set the fire? What's the fuel for the fire? What were the conditions, the cause and the conditions for the fucking fire? None of that shit. Just throw some fucking gasoline on it. Hey, we got some crime. We need to do something about. You know what? Don't address the reasons why there's crime. And don't tell me bullshit about, oh, it's fucking criminals. And don't you dare bring up race into it. Because again, we're not addressing that. What we're going to do is we're just going to throw some fucking thugs on the street and let them beat enough heads. That's what happened. We're going to throw some thugs on the street and let them beat enough fucking heads until people calm the fuck down. And I know that sounds like a great idea to some of you. I know it does. I know that when you hear me say that, your fucking thoughts are, fuck yeah, let's do that. You love that shit.
On it. There were no senior officers training the new officers. He said rookies were getting put on specialized units where they had no business being. The officers charged in the death of Tyree Nichols were between the age of 24 and 32. Former Director of Police E. Winslow Chapman even said he was surprised to hear that young and inexperienced officers were placed on this unit because when he led the force, he would not allow officers onto a specialized unit until they had at least 7 years on the job. One thing that is very ironic is how similar the Scorpion unit is to the Red Dog Crime Unit. Memphis Chief C.J. Davis led the Red Dog Crime Unit when she worked in the city of Atlanta.
Dude. Okay, we have the post video because of transparency of Memphis Scorpion Police Unit who was killed. 8 black people so far since 2021. Wait a minute. They handcuffed and beat Tyree until Tyree was in a coma. They died because of internal bleeding and liver damage. Educate cities do not need police. I'm not going to show any of the video, guys. I'm never going to show any of the video. The cam video, the street cam. I'm not showing any of that shit on my feeds. We can talk about it. I'll have open dialogue about it. If you feel like you need to go watch it, please feel free to go watch it. But I'm never fucking showing it. I don't think it needs to be seen. I don't think I need to propagate showing it. It's too trauma inducing for too many people. And I'm not doing it for clicks and likes. Stop making cops feel cool. Don't give them badass names like Scorpion Unit or black paint jobs on their cruisers or black gloves on their hands to make them look menacing. Dress and treat them like social workers who are expected to de-escalate every chance they get. That's base. Scorpion Unit equals 65 out of 70. Janice, I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm sorry, but she has to resign and anyone else connected to the Scorpion Unit. I fucking think that's pretty base. Memphis never heard of Baltimore Gun Task Force. For 10 years, elite squad robbed people, sold drugs, planted drugs, illegal stops and arrests, etc. They're all in prison now. Enough with these thug forces. I think there's a HBO limited series out on this on that Baltimore task force. Like they were a freaking criminal enterprise dressed in cop uniforms, receiving money from the city of Baltimore because they were paid as policemen. When in actuality, they were a fucking criminal organization. Okay, I've called the immediate disbanding of the Scorpion Unit at the use of gang-like police tactics. Read my statement here. Oh, fuck, dude, right? Check this out. There's a well-known fable about a scorpion and a frog speaking to the nature of scorpions. That would officially name it the Scorpion Unit really says a lot. This video is going to be more painful than our collective ability to brace for it, praying for all. So if you've never heard of, let's look it up. Let's see if we can find it, right? Okay. This, I'll read, I'll tell you, I know it by heart. Frog. Okay. Let's go to images. Okay, so the scorpion and the frog. So the way the fable goes is there's a scorpion that's walking along a path and he comes up to a small stream or a pond and he can't swim and he can't cross the pond. And he's looking at the pond and he wants to get to the other side. And so in the water on a lily pad is a frog. And the frog's, and he's safe and he's sitting there and he's looking at the frog. I mean, he's looking at the scorpion and the scorpion says to the frog, "Mr. Frog, please, if you would, can I climb upon your back and you swim me across to the other side?" And the frog says, "I would gladly do that for anyone else, but you're a scorpion and you're deadly and you'll kill me and you'll sting me and I will die from your sting." The scorpion says to him, "You know, I won't do that to you. I know that's true, that I have that ability, but I won't do that to you. I promise. I will get you. If you get me to the other side, then we will be friends," basically. The frog thinks about it and decides to try, because the scorpion has a nice face and he's been kind to him, and he decides that, yeah, it's okay. So he lets the scorpion get on his back and he's swimming across the pond. And as he's swimming, the scorpion stings him and the frog feels himself begin to paralyze, and they're not even across the way they're still in the middle of the pond. And this frog, as he's going paralyzed, he says, "Scorpion, why did you do that to me? Why did you, we're both going to die." And the scorpion says, "Yeah, I know, but it's in my nature. I'm a scorpion. I had to." See, and that is the fable, the fable, and light brings you to the light of like, a scorpion is a scorpion. It's got one job. Believe it. It is what it looks like. It will do what it's supposed to do. And the fact that they named it the Scorpion Unit is quite fucking telling, to be honest. It's quite telling, to be honest. All right, guys, I think that's enough out of my stupid face for the day. I hope that I'm still having trouble. Look, I could do all this clicking around. I hope that my stream went to everybody. It looks like I had almost, did I tell you I got like 4 more viewers? I think I'm up to 54 viewers now. So I'm really excited about that. But we'll see, our subscribers. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully that's technical issues.